My dad locked me in my room after catching me trying to find family. He hid from me. When I asked why, he smirked and said, "It's for your safety." I stayed silent. That was 18 months ago. Today, he sat quietly in court while the judge listened to every word of my testimony. My mom was the type of person to apologize for running into a pigeon on the sidewalk. People would describe her as a woman who could be their fairy godmother. Meanwhile, my dad was the Wicked Witch of the West. I was 7 years old when I figured out how to lie that I had brushed my teeth when I didn't. I'd wet my toothbrush, put a dab of toothpaste on my tongue, and run the tap water for good measure. But after 2 days in a row of this, my dad finally caught me. Except he didn't punish me. But I wish he did, because instead he punished my mother. He dragged her up the stairs into the bedroom, and her eyes were closed shut, super tight, like she knew what was coming. "Why didn't you raise our son to be better?" he asked with his hand already lifted in the air. "I'm sorry." Her apology was cut off with a blow of my dad's hand to her face. I tried to cover my eyes so I wouldn't have to keep watching, but when I realized it made my dad hit her even harder, I was forced to watch until he finished. When he walked out of the room, my mom whispered, "I'll get us out of this. Don't worry," before kissing my forehead and going to bed with my dad. Another time, my dad caught my mom eating a slice of chocolate cake after dinner. "Is that mine? Wait, I didn't know. Here, I can bake you a new one right now." She tried to beg, but it was too late. Next thing I knew, my dad was carrying me from the couch to the kitchen and grabbed the black leather strap that still haunts my dreams. "Don't blame me, son. This is because of your mother," is all he said before bending me over and hitting my behind 5 times. He then sat down on the couch and watched as the Green Bay Packers lost another game. I locked eyes with my mom, and I could see her silently pleading for me to forgive her. And at the time, I hated her. Not because I believed the BS my dad said of his punishments being her fault, but because in my eyes, she wasn't keeping her promise. The one she said about getting us out of this mess. To me, it seemed like she was just letting it happen. I spent the next few years on my best behavior. Got all A's, came home straight after school, always cleaned up after myself. It was like a full-time job. So much so that I didn't even let myself have any friends because I knew if they did something wrong, then my dad might use it as an excuse to hit my mom. And my mom did her best too. With this unspoken agreement, I was only getting hit once a month, while my mom was getting hit a few times a year. Life was sweet, I guess. We were all in the car when my dad got a call from my English teacher. When he picked it up, he put it on speaker so we could all hear it. "Your son was caught with a nicotine pen today. He is going to be suspended." I furrowed my eyebrows because I had never even seen a nicotine pen before, let alone hit one. My dad hung up the phone. I should have never effing married your sorry butt. My dad was screaming his head off. Adrenaline filled my body and the car started going at 135 miles. The road was empty and my dad swerved right into a tree. My ears were ringing so loudly it hurt my head. I woke up hours later in a blue hospital bed to the sound of CNN playing on the TV. The nurses surrounded me, but they didn't seem worried, just pitiful. Turns out my mom didn't make it because even though the airbag was activated, her body was so small and skinny that it ended up crushing her spine and unaliving her. But I didn't even have time to grieve because that's when my fat butt dad strolled in perfectly intact with a huge smile on his face. "How's my boy doing?" he yelled, slapping his hand across my back a little too hard. I tensed up really hard. "So funny story, son. Your teacher just called and told me that you weren't the one caught with the pen. They had gotten you mixed up with another student." I stared at him blankly. That's when the nurse told him he had to leave because there were a few tests they had to run. As soon as the curtain closed, the nurse bent down super close to my ear. "Were you that woman's son?" she asked, voice shaking.